Hello and welcome to our third Euro Truck Simulator 2 video of SpeltBothwards Incorporated. Now last time we accepted a job to transport these very large tires to, I believe, to Hanover, and we're going to get that done today. So we are just going to embark on our drive, as it is a relatively light load and should not give us too many problems once we are out of the depot, as the depot is actually relatively tight. Now it seems like I've gotten a new passage with a map update. Not sure what that necessarily means. Actually, I think it was this, but I'm not too sure. Nevertheless, we are going to again get out of here, and it shouldn't be too difficult, as the only interesting characteristic about this load is that it's a little wide. And after this red light, we should be able to hit the road. And I really don't want to risk running the light, but honestly, you know what? It's a research purpose. Or it'll just turn green for us anyways. And lucky for us, we're taking the easier part of the Trumpet intersection, and we don't have to do a 280, something like that. 270 is what I meant to say. And again, we should be able to just stay in this lane and take this first exit. Where again, this time we do have to take the difficult part of the Trumpet intersection. Now honestly, I'm not sure why this job requires an escort, as it is a pretty easy job, as the only, as I said before, interesting characteristic about this load is that it's a little wide. Other than that, it is perfectly manageable and actually should fit in a regular lane. And it seems we are actually allowed to run the red light, which is pretty cool. And so far, this whole drive has been smooth sailing, with no accidents, no damage to the cargo, unlike last time, and no damage to the trailer or truck. Though I'm a little annoyed, the speed limit is a little low for my preferences, even though the car ahead of us does seem to be allowing us to go this little bit faster. And still, it is smooth sailing, no problems, and I still do not think we need an escort for this trip. Now there is definitely a mod I would like to install for next time, and ideally on my main map screen it will give me information about when I need to rest and how far away our destination is. Checking the map, we are around halfway through the trip with 3.5 hours to go and 195 kilometers to continue driving across. Now, I'm not too sure how, but there is traffic ahead of us, even though the roads have been blocked off completely, which would mean that I am going faster than these two trucks ahead of us, which I heavily doubt. I am going a little above the speed limit, but not much. And as we can see, even hauling this special load, we are getting about 9 miles per gallon, which appears to only be going up. And now we're coming up on the first city I selected when I started playing this game, which I do think it has been reworked since then, so it should look a little different. Plus, we are seeing a little bit of traffic, which shouldn't be too big of a deal. The live cameras don't do super good in the dark, and as you can see when we drive into a shadow, they darken up a little bit, and you can see quite a bit less. So I think that's pretty cool. And again, I don't know why my dude in front of me is brake checking me. There's plenty of space in front of him. You could let me coast, and that would be great for all of us. Nonetheless, our turn is right here, and this is a pretty interesting depot up there. And it seems like we're entrenching on the area of AI. And this is going to absolutely wreck our gas mileage. And honestly, I'm glad to be in Germany right now because the graphics do look really, really good, as I believe it has been reworked relatively recently. At least since I stopped playing, which was at least within a year, a calendar year, maybe a couple of months added to that. I really do think the area looks very nice, it's very pleasant, and very enjoyable to drive in. Unfortunately for me, the only thing ruining that experience is this fella in front of us. Not only do we not need an escort, this fella is very bad at driving, and he has the nerve to tell me to keep the cargo between the escort vehicles. Maybe you should keep yourself up to date on the speed limit. And now we have a change lane maneuver coming. And boom. Completed without an issue. Now we are going to look both ways, even though we have escort vehicles. And there we go. Whoa, we just messed up a sign back there. But I'm sure that's fine. Hey buddy, speed limit 60 kilometers per hour. Feel free to put the pedal to the metal. And of course there's another red light ahead. All I want to see is green lights. And I want to go now. Because my time is being wasted by this fella in front of me. Oh my goodness. You know what? I don't care that you're on my team or whatever, or helping me. Drive the car, dude. Just press the gas pedal. And you know, I find it interesting that there is a traffic light here. You would think that because there is a 3-leaf clover here, that you wouldn't have a traffic light because it's meant to be super good for traffic. But they still did it anyways. So, kind of defeating the whole purpose of it, taking up a lot of space, putting down a lot of pavement. Personally, I would not have made that choice designing this, especially because it is only 2 lanes, so obviously the capacity is not needed. What capacity should be needed and used and pushed to its fullest is the capacity that we are allowed to travel at, which is the rate. And this fella right here doesn't seem to agree or realize that. Now, whoa, okay, maybe I should slow down, but a change lane maneuver is coming. I should follow it to avoid a crash. Let's say okay. Let's see, is this fella going to change lanes behind me? He is not. Okay, they did. Now I can go over, and now we can finish the drive, hopefully in peace, along highways, and then only at the end, in the inner city. And we are now being told to go at a speed limit of 60 kilometers per hour. So we are going to mostly not follow that until we're forced to. Like, seriously, why is my own guy brake checking me? Like, what is going on? He's got plenty of space ahead, and then he has the nerve to tell me to keep the cargo between the escort vehicles? This fella is... he's got problems. And now my gas mileage is absolutely destroyed. Luckily, we only have about 100 more kilometers to go. And with cruise control on, we should have a nice drive ahead of us. Well, now that we're on the highway, if this fellow wants to keep brake checking me, I'll just go in front of him. Actually, I think that might end the mission and take my cargo away. So let's let him get in front of us, and then we'll get in the middle. But he needs to cooperate and do as he is told. And now we are finally heading on to our exit, and we are on the home stretch. Now, as far as these intersections go, it's pretty interesting because the other cloverleaf clovers are pretty round and nice and easy to deal with, but this one I'm going on is a triangle, essentially, with some rounded corners, which to me doesn't seem like a very good cloverleaf. It's manageable though, as I guess it gets you to slow down, which is the goal as you're going towards more inner city-ish speeds. And just as we're getting on our exit, we have discovered Hanover. And after this traffic light, it's just another right, and then we will be at our destination. And I think it's also worth mentioning that Hanover has quite a few options as far as where to get new cargo. Pretty diverse too, which means we have a lot of options here, and a lot of high-paying jobs too. And now we can just pull into this pre-selected spot up ahead, and we are all done. With the simple click of a button, our job is complete, a lot of XP earned, and a lot of money to go with it. We have now reached level 4, so I'm going to continue, and I think what we can do is actually invest this into the just-in-time delivery. And now if we just click onto Hanover, we can see that we have a high-paying job over here, which is contaminated material. So I'm going to double-click on that job to accept it, and we will head over there now. And lucky for us, along the way we are going to discover a truck dealership and also a recruitment agency. Another change I would like to make to my settings is turning off the 24-hour clock, as to me it is pretty difficult to understand. Also, I am seeing that some of my settings got changed, not sure how, but it seems to have just been that, so we will change it back. I would also like to turn on the rain sensor, automatic headlights, automatic high beams, automatic engine brake. I'd also like to turn on advanced trailer coupling, and still be looking for the 24-hour clock, which may or may not be an interface. Also, I'm going to change the background to be this because I think it's pretty cool. And finally, turn off 24-hour clock notation. And with the light turning green, we can now make our turn. Now we can just cut across the parking lot and go over to this hovering green orb that is shaped like a trailer with a question mark on it. Double click on this fella of contaminated materials and get ready to start backing into this spot right here. beep, beep, beep. Oh yeah, bada bam, bada boom. And now we just have to press this button here. Fifth wheel lock, raising legs, and attaching cables. Sounds important. So now we'll just start our drive. Now this is going to be a relatively long trip, and I still have yet to install the mod to see any information. Now that we are on a more main road, I do want to mention that I have now actually installed the extra information on the map. The information it shows is how long I have until I arrive at my destination, and also how long I have before I have to sleep. So it looks like we will be able to finish this job without having to sleep, which is a very good thing. Nonetheless, rolling past that stop sign, we do still have a very long drive ahead of us. So we are going to make it through. I'm surprised there are no little barriers or arms that drop down when a tram is coming. But I guess it is a slower speed vehicle. I guess it's fine. That is pretty obnoxious of a color to choose for a tram. Nonetheless, pretty cool that they do add the detail in the game. And again, I think it looks very nice the whole game, very enjoyable, and very playable. Again, I do have to say though, these intersections are very confusing. I'm not sure the reason I would be going over here because it does seem there is an interchange that would also put me on the highway, unless it's an elevated highway. Still though, very confusing, and I don't know why they do it like this. And now since the beginning of this drive, we have actually increased our fuel economy once again. Which again, this is why I chose a MAN truck, because they really do just do super good on fuel economy, and it is going to save us money down the line. Hopefully the rain is going to stop soon, as it is absolutely destroying my fuel economy, but it is still lightninging and thundering, even though it's getting brighter out. But we'll have to see. Hopefully it does stop soon. Though again, I do have to say, with the mod I use, it does look very, very nice. And this is a very beautiful area with a nice train bridge, a little lake or river or canal, some boats docked over there with the rain, a little bit of farmland, flower field. That's pretty nice. Not sure why, but there's a fella trying to pass me, and this fella, okay, he fixed it, but he was in the middle lane. She shouldn't be. Get out of the middle lane, dude. Out of here. Still though, we have about 3 hours on our drive, but plenty of time to make it because we do not have to sleep for a very long time. I am though just gonna let this guy pass me and slow down. And here we go, we've got our first exit coming up on the drive, which will give us a little bit of change of direction and scenery. And now we're coming up on our second exit. Well, that was a very close lightning strike. At this point, though, we are pretty much just outside of the city. And we took a wrong exit, which means we have to keep on going around the cloverleaf. And I somehow got a speeding violation for driving at a very fair speed, but I guess we'll just have to roll with it as we are around the third clover leaf and about to actually be on our exit. And at this point, I'm just being spammed with the "it's time for your mandatory break" message. I'm aware I do not need the game to constantly tell me, and I do actually have to get into this lane. Once again, we're being told to take a mandatory break, which I will not be doing until this delivery is delivered. And now we are under a tunnel. I feel like it's a little arbitrary, but hey, it seems to work, so we'll just go with the flow. And again, I do have to mention the detail in this game is very good. Driving through the inner city is very fun, as everything really does just look alive, and everything just looks super duper nice. And if I'm honest, my favorite part about the reworks is that the cities just got so much larger. Now, sometimes there's not as many roads connecting areas as you'd think there would be, but I think that is just fine, because it, again, really does just look nice. And where you do drive, there is a lot of detail. For example, here, there's nothing to my right behind me, but to my right there is plenty of foliage, which makes it all okay. And once again, guys, we have to remember to take our mandatory break. We should find a rest stop and rest. Would you look at that? I'm getting tired. I should find a parking place to rest. And here we are arriving at RT Log, arguably the best depot or shipper in the whole game. And when I say arguably, I mean undebatably. It has literally everything you would ever want. And of course, we are going to do the difficult trailer delivery. And the other thing about RT Log is that their trailers really do just look super nice. And there we go, a perfect backup. So now we'll just attach our trailer and be done with the job. And after 4.5 hours and 313 kilometers, we've gotten $7,000 and a lot of XP. And we're nearing an enthusiast. This time we don't have any skill points, which is just fine. And now we can check on the freight market in our area. And actually we can, if we want, ship a massive tech part. Or we could ship a boiler part. Or we could take oil filters in a double trailer. Also though, from where we are right now, we could take contaminated material, but that is a huge price difference between all of these three. Anyways, that's the end of this video. I really appreciate you watching, and if you have any questions or suggestions, please let me know in the comments. In the meantime, have yourself a great day.